Hello students. In today's session, we are going to see chapter number 2, Integral Calculus 1. And in calculus, basically we have two branches. One is differential calculus, the other one is integral calculus. So the differential calculus already we have seen in the last year, 11th Business Max. So chapter number 5 is differential calculus and chapter number 6 is its application. And in this year, we are going to see the second type, that is integral calculus. Okay, so let's see that what is differential calculus. So in the last year in differential calculus, we have learned how to calculate the differential coefficient f dash of x of a given function f of x with respect to x. That is finding the derivative of a function. For example, if I give sin x, when you differentiate sin x, what we get? We get cos x. So this is what we have learned in the last year, and this topic we are going to see how it is with the example. So f of x is equal to sin x. So f dash of x is nothing but the derivative of sin x. We have a formula, and based on that f dash of x is equal to cos x. Okay, so this can be otherwise written as the other side, right hand side you can see d by dx of sin x. Can you see d by dx of sin x is equal to cos x. This is also the same. The derivative of sin x is equal to cos x. Okay, so in this d by dx of sin x equal to cos x part, we have d by dx of sin x. Within bracket you have sin x, right? And that is called the primitive function. The derived part, that is the answer part, cos x, that is called the derived function. That's why we say the derivative of sin x is cos x. The derivative of sin x is cos x. So this year we are going to learn the integral calculus topic. Actually, the integral calculus is nothing but the reverse process of differentiation. So let's see what definition they have given. In integration, we have to find out the primitive function f of x, that is the original function, when its derived function f dash of x is given. So such a process is called the integration or anti-differentiation. Right. So there is an example given. D by dx of sin x is equal to cos x. This is a differentiation rule. D by dx of, that is the derivative of sin x is cos x. But in integration, they will be giving the derived function. That is the answer part they will give. Cos x they will give. So integral symbol, you can see a long S symbol here. Right? Integral. This symbol is called, the S symbol is called integral. So integral cos x dx is equal to sin x. That is the cos x is the derived function of the sin x function. So this is called the integration. So what we understand, in differentiation they give the primitive function. When you differentiate the primitive function, you get a derived function as answer. Whereas in integration, we are proceeding in the reverse form. When you integrate the derived function, you will get the primitive function as answer. So integral calculus is used in the following ways. The first branch, it is used as an antiderivative. So antiderivative means the reverse process of differentiation. So it is used as an antiderivative. Okay, the second branch is, it is used to find the area under the curve. So we all know that area of the rectangle, we all know the area of the square, like that. We have a standard formula for that all to find. But when we are asked to find the area under an indefinite curve, then we can use the concept of integral calculus. That's why it is used to find the area under the curve, like that. So we have some improper solids also. So to find the volume of the solid and also the surface area of the solid, we can use the concept of integration. So it is used to find the surface area and volume of the solid generated by revolving a curve. Actually, this last topic we are not having, but generally we must know what are the uses of integral calculus, right? So now we are going to learn the standard integral formula. So these all are derived from the differentiation techniques, because we know the differentiation formula, right? So let us recall it, and from that we go for integral formula, because we know one thing very clearly: integration is the reverse process of differentiation. Okay, so let's go for the formula. We all know it, right? Derivatives. So d by dx of x. So we can say it as d by dx of x or a derivative of x. So let me say it as a derivative of x. So derivative of x is 1, right? So derivative of x power n is n into x power n minus 1, and derivative of 1 by x power n is minus n by x power n plus 1, and derivative of root x is 1 by 2 root x, and derivative of e power x is equal to e power x, and derivative of log x is equal to 1 by x, and derivative of a power x is equal to a power x into log a. So we all know this formula in differentiation, and the other formula also we know, derivative of sin x cos x, like that also we know that. Now let us see how they convert the derivative formula to integral, right? So we know very well, in differentiation we differentiate the primitive function, so we get the derived function, right? So here the primitive function in the first formula is x, d by dx of x. When you differentiate this d by dx of x when you differentiate, you get the answer equal to 1. That is a derived function, right? So in integration, what is the process? We will integrate the derived function. So integral, the longest symbol, integral. So what is the derived function answer here in the first formula? 1. That 1 you have to put here. So 1 into dx is equal to, what will be the answer? The primitive function. The primitive function here is x. So we get, when you integrate 1, the dx is compulsory, that is there to represent a derivative, so we put dx. So integral 1 into dx is equal to, the answer is x. The plus c is called the integrating constant, that must be put on in that place for all the types. Okay, now second formula, and this one is completely different. So these two formulas, second formula and third formula in integration, you have to learn it. It's a different thing. Integral x power n dx, when you do it, you get x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c, right? When you integrate 1 by x power n, what is the answer? Minus 1 by n minus 1 x power n minus 1 plus c, right? The third one, fourth formula. So from now you can just see d by dx of root x, the left side differentiation formula, you can see d by dx of root x answer is 1 by 2 root x. So here what is the primitive function? Root x. What is the derived function? 1 by 2 root x. So let's take the derived function 1 by 2 root x. When you apply integral for it, 1 integral 1 by 2 root x dx is the derivative format, so we must put it in that place. We get what answer? The primitive as answer. So what is the primitive? Root x. So integral 1 by 2 root x dx is equal to root x plus c, right? Next, d by dx of e power x is equal to e power x. Here the primitive function is e power x and the derived function answer is also e power x. So when you integrate the derived function e power x dx, the answer is e power x plus c, right? Now the derived d by dx of log x is 1 by x. So the primitive function here is log x. The derived function is 1 by x. So like that, when you integrate this derived function 1 by x dx, you get the primitive, that is the log x as answer. That's all. So integral a power x dx equal to a power x by log a. The reason is I'm not having log a in the integral, that's why I have put by log a on the other side. So compare the formula and then learn. So integration is nothing but the reverse process of differentiation. They will give the answer and they will ask the question this time. That's a simple idea we can keep in mind, right? And next, let me go with the formula. So you know the derivative of sin x is cos x. So when you integrate cos x, what do you get? Sin x, right? So the derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So when you integrate sin x, here minus is missing. So in the answer part, you add a minus. So minus cos x. So the derivative of secant x is what? Secant x tan x. So when you integrate secant x tan x, what we get? Secant x plus c, right? The derivative of tan x is secant square x. So when you integrate secant square x dx, we get tan x plus c. So the derivative of cosecant x is minus cosecant x cot x. So the answer, when you integrate cosecant x cot x, the answer is minus cosecant x plus c. So the derivative of cot x is minus cosecant square x. So when you integrate cosecant square x, you get minus cot x. So these are the formula of derivatives and integrals. So you have to be very clear about the derivatives, then only you can easily see the integral formula, because in the integral will be given the answer, we have to say the question, and that's the process, reverse process of differentiation. I already told you, so integration is the reverse process of differentiation, right? So based on this, actually, we have some remarks. If two different primitive functions f of x and g of x have the same derived function f of x, then they differ only by a constant term. This first point I'll give you with an example when we see the exercise. Now the second point onwards. So integral f of x dx is called as indefinite integral. Okay, so here in this point you can see the indefinite integral word. That means the integral without limits. I will tell you when we have a sum on that. So now the third point, the symbol looks like a elongated S. The S only, they have given a long S, and that is with that symbol only we call it as the integral, and that the S stands for summation or is the sign of integration. Okay, point number 4. So integral f of x dx is read as integral of f of x with respect to x. Okay, so in this integral of f of x dx, the f of x function, point number 5, f of x in integral f of x dx is called as integrand. The function which you are going to integrate is called the integrand. Okay, so the x in integral f of x dx is the variable of integration. Sometimes they will give the x variable in the integrals, or y or t, like that. Sometimes theta also they will give. Okay, the term integration means the process of finding the integral. The term constant of integration means any real c considered as a constant function. So all these I want to give it as an example. So this is it. Integral cos x dx equal to, we know the answer is sin x plus c. So here this integral symbol, you can see the long s symbol, orange color arrow below that symbol, integral symbol, I have drawn an arrow orange color. That is the integral symbol, so which is nothing but long s. And that cos x, we are going to integrate only cos x, right? And that is called the integrand. That is called the integrand. Dx is the variable what they are using, cos x is the variable, so you should mention the derivative dx equal to sin x. That is the answer. That answer is sin x is called the integral value, and that plus c is called the integrating constant. That is called the integrating constant. So keep in mind, so the front integral symbol is called the longest, that is the integral. Cos x is called the integrand. The function what you are going to integrate is called the integrand, and the answer is the integral value plus c. The c is the integrating constant, right? So we have some important properties on integral calculus. First property, if k is any constant, then integral k into function f of x dx equal to, if k is a constant which is in product form with a function, then take k outside, integrate only f of x dx, that's all. Okay, second property, so if f of x and g of x are any two functions, then integral f of x plus or minus g of x dx equal to, you can give the integral separately to both the function, to f of x as well as for g of x. When you give the integral to each function, you have to give the integral as well as the dx part. So integral f of x dx plus or minus integral g of x dx. So what is mean by integration? Again, keep in mind, integration is nothing but the reverse process of differentiation, right? So simply antiderivative, keep in mind. Okay, now integration by decomposition. Applying this method, whenever the integrand is impossible to integrate directly, but it can be integrated after decomposing into a sum or difference of integrands whose individual integrals are already known. For example, certain functions cannot be directly integrable, but when they are expressed in the sum or difference form, addition or subtraction form, then we can give the integral separately and then we can integrate. So that's what this particular topic we are going to learn, and here some useful examples to understand. So integral 1 dx, you know very well 1 is the derivative of what? X. So x is the answer. So x plus c, I didn't mention plus c, you have to actually add plus c, right? The second one is integral k dx. K is a constant, so I can take k outside. So when I take k outside, for that place I have to put 1 because k into 1 k. That's why. So when it is taken out, that place will be 1 now, 1 into dx. So what is the integral of 1? Integral of 1 dx is x. So the answer will be k into x plus c. Okay. Now third example, integral cos x plus 1 by x dx. So here we cannot integrate cos x plus 1 by x on the whole, but we can separately integrate them. So give the integral to the cos x first and 1 by x next. So integral cos x dx plus integral 1 by x dx, right? Cos x, we are going to integrate cos x. So keep in mind, whenever integration is given, immediately your mind should check cos x. So cos x is the derivative of what function? Check like that. Can you understand? So cos x is the derivative of which function? Sine function. So sine x is the answer. Plus integral 1 by x dx. So integral 1 by x dx. So 1 by x is the derivative of what function? It is the derivative of log x function. Therefore, integral 1 by x answer is log x. So we get the answer sin x plus log x plus c. Okay, let's see the sums in this chapter number 2. So example number 2.5, I'm going to start from the easy sums to the toughest. So like that we will have, so that I don't mind about the numbers, example numbers. Now let's see the sum. So I equal to integral x power 3 plus 7 into x minus 4. So we have two brackets there, but at a time you cannot integrate that, and moreover they are in product form. We should try to express that in sum or a difference form. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take only the integrand part. Integrand means accept the integral and dx, take the function alone. So consider x plus 7 into x minus 4. First we are going to make it simplified. So take x cube plus 7 and x minus 4, multiply x cube with x, so you get x power 4, multiply x cube with minus 4, so you get minus 4x cube, then take plus 7 and multiply with x, so you have 7x, and take 7 and multiply with minus 4, so you get minus 28. So when you simplify the two brackets, you get this answer. Now take it and replace the question. So I equal to integral, you get x power 4 minus 4x cube plus 7x minus 28 into dx. Now we have to integrate each and every term. We have 4 terms in the integral. First x power 4. So we know the formula for x power n. When you integrate x power n, integral x power n dx is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So what is the power of x here? First term x power 4. So x power 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1. Okay, the second term. So before x power 3 term, we have minus 4 constant. Let it be. Minus 4 is same as minus 4. Minus 4 into x cube, when you integrate, you get x power 3 plus 1 by 3 plus 1. The same formula. Next, 7x I am going to integrate. So 7x, keep 7. X means the power is 1. So 7 into x power 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 minus 28. So normally the k, when you integrate, what I told you, k integral k dx means the answer is kx. So minus 28 means minus 28x. Whenever you integrate a number, that number into x, that's all. Plus c at last. Now simplify, add the powers. So 4 plus 1 becomes 5. So x power 5 by 5 minus 4 into x power 3 plus 1 becomes 4. So x power 4 by 4 plus 7 x power 2 by 2 minus 28x. And when you simplify that, you get the answer x power 5 by 5 minus x power 4 plus 7x square by 2 minus 28x plus c. So now example 2.4. So I is equal to integral x plus 1 by x the whole square into dx. So you cannot integrate this function directly. So you take that and try to decompose it. So I consider the integrand part x plus 1 by x the whole square. So we all know a plus b the whole square formula. As per that, I'm going to expand. So x first, in the a place we have x, in the b place we have 1 by x. So x square plus 1 by x square plus 2 into x into 1 by x, as per a plus b the whole square formula, that is a square plus b square plus 2ab. So we have expanded. So by that, when you expand, you get x square plus 1 by x square plus 2 into x into 1 by x. Here this x and 1 by x will get cancelled and we get only 2. So we get x square plus 1 by x square plus 2 as the expanded answer. Now take this and use it in the integrals. Right, so I becomes I equal to integral x square plus 1 by x square plus 2 into dx. So we have a formula. So the first term is x power n formula. So what is x power n formula? X power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So when you integrate x square, you get x power 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1. Okay, let's go for the last term, 2. We have 2, right? The last one. Whenever we integrate a number, what I said, that number into x. So 2, when you integrate, the answer is 2x. Okay, now the middle term, 1 by x square. So we have a formula for 1 by x power n also. The formula is minus 1 by n minus 1 into x power n minus 1. I repeat the formula, 1 by x power n integral formula is minus 1 by n minus 1 x power n minus 1. So here 1 by x square, that is 2 we have. So n value is 1, 2. Now apply in the formula. So minus 1 by 2 minus 1 x power 2 minus 1. So when you simplify the expression, you get x power 3 by 3 minus 1 by x plus 2x plus c. That's all. So this is the answer for this sum. Now example number 2.6. So I equal to integral 2x square minus 14x plus 24 by x minus 3 into dx. So they have given this integrand in a fraction form. So we try to decompose it in addition and subtraction form. So I'm going to consider only that integrand part. So 2x square minus 14x plus 24 by x minus 3. Right? Only the part we are taking. Now in the numerator you can see 2, 14, 24. In all that 2 is a common multiple. Take it out. So we get 2 into, when you take 2 outside, you have x square minus 7x plus 12 by x minus 3. And the numerator part, x square minus 7x plus 12, the quadratic polynomial can be factorized as x minus 3 into x minus 4. We can do it. We all know that how to do factorization. So we get that. So in the numerator and denominator, now we could see x minus 3 common. So cancel it. So what is the remaining part? 2 into x minus 4. Now multiply the 2 again inside. So what do you have? 2x minus 8. Now instead of the rational expression 2x square minus 14x plus 24 by x minus 3, we can use the equivalent part 2x minus 8 in the question. So now the question becomes I equal to integral 2x minus 8 into dx. Okay, let's integrate. 2 is a constant, keep it. X means the power is 1, x power 1. So when you integrate x power 1, what is the answer? X power 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1. That is x square by 2. So 2 into x square by 2 minus 8. Minus 8 when you integrate, I said when you integrate a number, the answer is number into x. So minus 8x the answer. So the 2 will be cancelled. So we have x square minus 8x plus c. And that is the answer for this sum. So now example number 2.3. So I equal to integral dx by 2x plus 3 the whole square. Now this integral 1 by 2x plus 3 the whole square. You can see 2x plus 3 I have underlined in red color. Imagine that is your whole x part, whole x, right? So it is x square like that. So it will be looking like which formula? Integral 1 by x power n dx formula. So what is the formula for integral 1 by x power n dx? Minus 1 by n minus 1 into x power n minus 1. So we are going to use that formula to integrate. So minus 1 by, the power is 2. So 2 minus 1 into 2x plus 3 the whole power 2 minus 1. After that into 1 by 2 I have written in a green color circle. You can see 1 by 2. Why I have written? The reason is the coefficient of x is not 1 this time. So here you can see green color underline I have made 2x plus 3 the whole power 2 minus 1. In that, the coefficient of x is not 1, it is 2. So whenever we have a different coefficient other than 1, we should divide the whole integral by that number. So to not to confuse, so I have multiplied 1 by 2 outside, that is I am dividing the whole part by 2, so that can be otherwise written as 1 by 2. So take the coefficient and multiply 1 by 2. So if the coefficient is 3 means you have to multiply at last 1 by 3. If the coefficient of x is 5 means at last you have to multiply by 1 by 5. So like that. So we get minus 1 by 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 means 1. So we get the reduced answer minus 1 by 2x plus 3 into 1 by 2. The 1 by 2 can be kept in the front. So minus 1 by 2 into 2x plus 3 plus c. Next sum, I equal to integral root of 2x plus 1 into dx. Right. So here root means what? Power 1 by 2. So I have given power 1 by 2. And now this sum here I have underlined red color. You can see the whole part you imagine like x. So now it looks like x power n, right? So what is the formula for integral x power n dx? The formula is x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So 2x plus 1 the whole power 1 by 2 plus 1 by 1 by 2 plus 1 into 1 by 2. Why are we multiplying into 1 by 2? Because the coefficient of x is 2. So at last we have to do this thing. 1 by 2 we have to put. Suppose if it is 1 by if the coefficient of x is 7 means at last we have to multiply 1 by 7. Right. So this is done. And by simplifying we get 2x plus 1 the whole power 3 by 2 by 3 by 2 into 1 by 2. And further simplification we get I equal to 2x plus 1 the whole power 3 by 2 by 3 plus c. Dear students, please practice all the sums whatever we have learnt in the today's session. And the most important thing is, and using this chapter we have totally 4 chapters in the upcoming book. Actually chapter number 2, 3 and chapter number 4 as well as chapter number 6. All chapters we are using the concept of integration, so don't give less importance. And in board exam also, if you want to choose more questions, then this chapter will be highly helpful for you. So learn it to the core and learn the concept in each and every video, because it is very highly important for you. And whatever the formula you learn, just practice the sums based on that. And the last page in your each chapter there will be an exercise called miscellaneous, and try to solve the exercise with the help of the formula learnt. And learn the formula very well thoroughly. You have to have the formula in mind, then only you can learn the chapter easily. Thank you.